It was June 2017. My aunt was in the hospital with cancer of the intestines. And my dad had come down to help me watch my daughter while I went to work. And as I was leaving the house, my uncle had called my dad and said that it wasn't good, that he was on his way to the hospital to see what was going on exactly, because they wouldn't tell him anything over the phone, of course. And so I went to work. It was about 10:30 in the morning, and I got a call from my uncle at work, and he had let me know that my aunt had passed and that he couldn't get a hold of my dad. I live out in the country, so um, the reception here is not the best. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home and I'll have him call you, because he really wanted to tell him himself what had transpired. So I left work. On my way home, of course, bawling over the fact that I had just lost my only blood aunt, who was an incredible woman. She and my uncle had started a ministry in Canada, and she was very close to God. And while I was on my way home, I was driving, and I asked her, I said, I want you to send me an eagle just to let me know that you are with God, you're on the other side, and that you're okay. So this was the first Friday in June, and I went home. I walked in. My dad was shocked that I was home, of course, and I just told him that you need to call Uncle Dan. And he was not very happy. He kept asking me why, what's going on, and I said, you just need to call him. And he ended up getting it out of me that she had passed. And there's reasons why he felt the way that he felt. But anyways, he was not happy, ended up going outside, working on the cars, because that's what he does for fun. He fiddles around with the vehicles. And I went out there to do something. I can't remember if I was gardening or if I was just trying to be with him. And there was a butterfly that was flying around him that would not leave him alone. And he didn't notice it, but I did. And it was so beautiful because it was just hovering him for like 10 minutes. It wouldn't leave his side. And we ended up going inside, and I don't recall the rest of what happened really that day, other than the rest of the story goes 3 weeks later, on a Friday, so it was exactly 3 weeks to the day that she had passed. I went to work. Well, I tried to go to work. Um, we had 100-year flood in town, which prevented me from getting to my place of employment. So when I called my manager, he says, nobody is going to come in. It's not going to be busy. Like a 10-mile trek around town just to get here. So go home and be with your family. So when I got home, my dad again was helping me with watching my daughter while I was going to work on a weekend. And I'm outside in the garden, and him and my daughter come out, and they're going to go get the mail. So as they're walking down the driveway, I was watching them do their thing, and I look up, and there is an eagle that is flying right above my house, right above my property, and it looks at me. We lock eyes, and then it continues, and I never saw it again. And to me, that was my confirmation, being so close to home, number one. But two, I've lived here for at least 5 years, and I've never seen an eagle around my home. And to me, that was confirmation that she is okay. There is something on the other side, and we don't have to worry. It gave me a sense of peace with death, because as a young child, I always was afraid of dying. And maybe it was the fear of dying too early, not fulfilling the mission I was sent here to perform, or what it was. So, anyways, that is my story. Those are my little synchronicities with the spiritual realm, that there is an afterlife, and that this life and this body are not all that is. We are we are one consciousness. We are a soul in a body to experience life here on earth. And after I had gotten that message, I had an overwhelming sense of peace with leaving this body in this world. So I hope that my story gives you a little bit of peace also, that after we're done with this body, that's not it. It is not who we are. We are our soul that is everlasting because of God's glory. So I hope peace be with you, my friend. Thank you for listening.